decadent flaky shortbread crust with a chewy tart raspberry center and a crunchy buttery streusel topping make these raspberry bars the very best ones out there. These raspberry dessert streusel bars are so addicting that before you know it, the pan will be empty, but the good news is they're fairly easy to make. With just a handful of ingredients and some time, you'll be diving into these in no time, and I'm going to show you how to make them today on the Stay-at-Home Chef. There are 4 steps to these raspberry dessert bars: the crust, the raspberry filling, the streusel topping, and the glaze. The first step in making these is the crust. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then either line with parchment paper or grease a 9x13 pan. To make the dough for the crust, you can either use a pastry cutter or a food processor, which I'm going to use today. Add to that 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of room temperature salted butter, and a 1/2 cup of white sugar. Pulse that until it's combined. When it's all combined, it will look a little bit like Play-Doh. Then press that into the bottom of your greased baking dish. Now we're going to bake this, so let's head over to the oven for 15 minutes or until that top of that crust is golden brown. While the crust is baking, in a saucepan, add in 4 cups of raspberries, which is about 2 pounds worth, 1 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Stir that together. Then place on the stove over medium-high heat and cook for about 5 minutes until that mixture has thickened. Then remove that from the heat. Now you could use a store-bought can of raspberry pie filling in a pinch, but this is so much better tasting. The crust has cooked, so we're going to carefully remove that from the oven and carefully spoon onto the cooked crust the raspberry mixture. To the raspberry layer, we're going to add a streusel topping, which is so simple to make and such a wonderful addition to not just this dish, but so many other ones. Back into my food processor, I'm going to add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 a cup of packed brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats, 2 tablespoons of white sugar, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then, of course, the key ingredient, butter, which I'm adding in 6 tablespoons. Then pulse that until it's well combined. Now that our mixture's nice and crumbly, we're going to add that straight to the raspberry filling. Make sure it's spread evenly over the raspberry layer, and then pop it in your oven, where it's going to bake for 30 to 35 minutes until that topping is golden brown and the filling is set. Now the final layer is a simple glaze. It adds the perfect finishing touch. To make the glaze, add to a bowl a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, 2 to 3 teaspoons of milk, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix that together until there's no lumps. When those raspberry dessert bars have finished cooking and they've cooled down completely, go ahead and drizzle some of that glaze on them, and you are ready to eat. Thanks for watching. You can find the full written recipe in the video description below. Be sure to check out thestayathomechef.com, where you can find hundreds of restaurant quality recipes you can easily make at home. We'll see you later.